I moved to North Macedonia chasing whispers of an affordable European paradise. I'd been told I could live like royalty on just a fraction of a Western salary. But after a year here, I can tell you, the truth is a lot more complicated. And honestly, it's way more interesting. This is the real, unfiltered story of what it's actually like to be an expat deep in the heart of the Balkans. Let's be real. When you tell someone you're moving to North Macedonia, you get one of two reactions. A completely blank stare, or a question like, wait, isn't that somewhere near Greece? It's not exactly Paris or Rome. For a long time, it's been one of Europe's best-kept secrets, a place you only heard about on digital nomad forums or in expat blogs, framed as the last frontier of affordable European living. It's a country that's a member of NATO and is working to join the EU, a place that feels both ancient and brand new all at once. I came here chasing that whisper. I was sold the dream. Majestic mountains, ancient monasteries, a vibrant cafe culture, and a cost of living so low it looked like a typo. The idea was simple. All the charm of Europe without the painful price tag. And while a lot of that dream is true, the reality is a much richer, more challenging, and ultimately more human story than any blog post can prepare you for. It's a story about learning to live by a completely different cultural rhythm, about dealing with costs that are low for a reason, and about discovering what European life really means in the Balkans. So if you're thinking about making the move or you're just curious, stick around. We're about to pull back the curtain, starting with the number one reason most of us are drawn here: the money. The biggest draw, the main event, the siren song of North Macedonia for any expat is the cost of living. You've seen the videos, you've read the articles. Move to Europe and live on $800 a month. How I retired early in the Balkans. I saw them too. My head was filled with images of huge apartments for the price of a closet back home, 3-course meals for the price of a coffee, and a life where my freelance income would make me feel like a millionaire. And let's be clear, those rumors aren't exactly lies. North Macedonia is, without a doubt, one of the most affordable countries in Europe. Let's break down the numbers because they are pretty staggering. When I first got to Skopje, the capital, I found a comfortable one-bedroom apartment just outside the very center for about $350 a month. In other cities like the beautiful lakeside town of Ohrid or the second-largest city, Bitola, you can find similar places for even less, sometimes dropping below $250. My monthly utilities, electricity, water, and high-speed internet, usually hover around $60. The daily costs are where it really hits you. A taxi ride across the city center is rarely more than $3 or $4. You can grab a huge, delicious pastry from a local bakery for less than $1. A coffee at a trendy cafe where you can sit for hours will set you back maybe $1.50. My weekly grocery bill is a revelation. I can fill my basket with fresh fruits, vegetables, local cheeses, and meats from the green market and spend about $40. Eating out is dangerously affordable. A casual meal of tavče gravče, the famous baked bean dish, might cost you $4. A proper, mid-range restaurant meal for 2 people with drinks can easily come in under $25. On paper, a single person can live a very comfortable life here for between $700 and $900 a month, which is an incredible reality. Now, for the unfiltered part. Because a low price tag always has a story. The first thing you realize is that while it's cheap for you, the expat with a foreign income, it's not so cheap for the people who actually live and work here. The average net salary in North Macedonia, as of spring 2025, is around $740 or about $800 a month. The minimum net wage is about $400 or roughly $430 a month. Suddenly, that $350 rent doesn't seem so trivial. It's a huge chunk of a local's income. This is the fundamental and often uncomfortable reality of being an expat here. Your financial ease is built on a massive wage disparity. This is also the driving force behind one of the country's biggest challenges, a brain drain, where countless bright, skilled, and educated young Macedonians are leaving for better opportunities abroad. You are, in a way, moving in the opposite direction of local ambition. Then there are the other, less obvious costs. While the country is affordable, it's not immune to global trends. Inflation has been ticking upwards, with the annual rate hitting 4.5% in mid-2025, driven by rising costs for food and services. It's not the static budget paradise it's sometimes made out to be. Also, that low cost of living can mean a trade-off in quality or availability. You won't always find the imported brands or specific food items you're used to, and if you do, they'll be expensive. And then there's healthcare. Most expats are strongly advised to get private health insurance. While the public system exists, it can be overburdened. Private insurance is an essential extra cost you have to factor in to ensure quicker access and care that meets Western standards. It's not a huge expense, but it's a necessary one. So yes, the dream of an affordable life is real, but it's not a simple equation. It's a complex picture, and you have to understand the full context. If you're finding this useful, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It really helps the channel. My vision for life in North Macedonia was this romantic, simplified idea of Europe. I pictured myself in charming cafes, soaking up history, basically living a permanent vacation in some undiscovered corner of the continent. I thought it would be like a less crowded Italy or a more rustic France. What I found was something entirely different and way more fascinating: the Balkans. There's an unwritten code here that governs everything, something locals call the Balkan Way. You can't read about it in a guidebook. You have to live it. At its heart, it's a mindset born from centuries of shifting empires, complex history, and a deep-rooted suspicion of authority. It creates a culture where personal relationships, trust, and family ties mean more than any official rulebook. Your word to a friend is a contract. A favor for a neighbor is an unbreakable bond. But a deadline on a government form? That's more of a suggestion. For an expat, this cuts both ways. The positive side is the incredible warmth and hospitality. Macedonians are some of the most welcoming people I've ever met. That cafe culture I dreamed of? It's real, and it's the lifeblood of society. It's where business gets done, friendships are maintained, and life is watched over a single, slow-sipped macchiato. You will be invited into people's homes for a meal, and you have to accept. You will be offered homemade rakia, the potent fruit brandy, at hours of the day you didn't think were possible, and you should probably accept that too. There's a genuine sense of community here that's been lost in much of the West. And a huge part of this is safety. North Macedonia is an incredibly safe country. I feel more comfortable walking around Skopje late at night than I have in most major cities in America or Western Europe. People really do look out for each other. Now, for the other side of that coin, the bureaucracy. This is the final boss for any expat. Because that Balkan way of putting people over rules means official processes can feel like a labyrinth designed by a madman. Getting a residency permit, opening a bank account, or dealing with any government office is an exercise in pure resilience. You'll be told you have the right documents, only for someone to tell you the next day that you need 3 more, including one that apparently doesn't exist. You will be sent from window to window, building to building on a bureaucratic scavenger hunt. The official rules are just a starting point for a negotiation. Nothing happens quickly. I remember trying to get my residency permit renewed. The official checklist was clear. I got everything, went to the office, and was told I needed an additional statement of purpose. A document mentioned nowhere. When I asked for a template, the official just shrugged. "Just write something," she said. The solution, as it often is, came from a friend of a friend who knew someone in the ministry. That is the Balkan way. It's not about what you know, it's who you know. For a Westerner used to clear rules, this can be infuriating. But you have a choice. You can either fight it and be miserable, or you can learn to laugh, have another coffee, and accept that this is part of the deal. You learn to embrace the chaos. This isn't a flaw in the system. In many ways, it is the system. Before I moved, my plan for a social life was simple. Join some expat Facebook groups, find the digital nomad meetups, maybe take a language class, and boom, instant community. I imagined blending into this cool mix of international friends and artistic locals. I expected easy integration. The reality? Far more layered. First, the expat community. It definitely exists, and it's a great lifeline, especially when you first arrive. In Skopje and Ohrid, you'll find a small but active group of foreigners. There are organized events and tons of online groups where you can ask for advice on everything from finding a plumber to visa help. These groups are fantastic for getting settled and meeting people who get what you're going through. You can build a social circle of fellow expats pretty fast, sharing war stories about bureaucracy and celebrating small wins, like finding a store that sells good peanut butter. But if your goal is to truly integrate and build deep friendships with Macedonians, you'll quickly find that the expat bubble can be a comfortable trap. The single biggest barrier is language. You can get by with English in Skopje, especially with younger people, but it is not universally spoken. The moment you leave the city center or visit a smaller town, English proficiency plummets. More importantly, even when people speak English, the language of real friendship, of humor, of deep conversation is Macedonian. Without it, you're always on the outside. You can have plenty of friendly acquaintances, but true friendship is built in a shared language. You'll miss the inside jokes, the cultural references, the little things. You'll always be the foreigner friend who needs a translation. Making an effort to learn even basic Macedonian phrases opens doors instantly. It shows respect and genuine interest, and people really appreciate it. But moving from pleasantries to real friendship takes more than language. It takes time. Macedonian society is built on tight-knit circles of family and lifelong friends. People have their društvo, their crew, that they've known since childhood. They are incredibly warm to outsiders, but being fully accepted into that inner circle is a long game. It's built on shared experiences and trust, not just a few beers at an expat meetup. This is all made tougher by the brain drain we talked about. Many of the young, ambitious, globally minded Macedonians, the people most likely to befriend a foreigner, are the very ones leaving the country. It can sometimes feel like you're trying to connect with a generation that has one foot out the door. So building a social life here is a tale of two paths. You can have an instant, easy social life with other expats. Or you can take on the slower, more challenging, but ultimately more rewarding journey of local integration. It just takes effort, humility, and a real commitment. So after all of it, the financial roller coasters, the bureaucratic headaches, the cultural puzzles, and the social hurdles, the big question is still there. Was it worth it? Did the unfiltered reality of North Macedonia live up to the promise? For me, the answer is a complex but definite yes. But it comes with a huge asterisk. If you come here expecting a polished, efficient Western European experience on a budget, you will be disappointed. You will get frustrated and you will probably leave. North Macedonia is not Europe light. It is proudly, fiercely, and complexly Balkan. Let's do a final tally. On the pro side, the affordability is real. With a foreign income, you can have a level of financial freedom that's almost impossible in the West. The natural beauty is breathtaking and criminally underrated, from the pristine Lake Ohrid to the rugged peaks of Mavrovo National Park. The food is hearty, delicious, and fresh. And most importantly, there is a genuine human warmth and sense of community here that is a true antidote to modern isolation. Feeling truly safe and welcomed is priceless. On the con side, the bureaucracy is a monster. The who-you-know culture can feel unfair. The language barrier is a real wall if you don't commit to climbing it. You have to make peace with the economic realities that make your life affordable, including the brain drain and trade-offs in infrastructure. And the air pollution in Skopje during the winter is a serious issue that you can't ignore. So, was it worth it? Yes, because I found something much more valuable than the simple paradise I was looking for. I came looking for an easy life, but I found a real one. North Macedonia challenges you. It forces you to slow down, to be more patient, to be more resourceful, and to rely on people instead of processes. It teaches you that there are other rhythms to life. It's not a destination for someone seeking convenience. It's a destination for an explorer, not just a resident. It's for someone who wants an authentic, gritty, unfiltered experience that gets under your skin and changes how you see the world. It's not the paradise I was sold, but the reality with all its beautiful flaws and charming chaos is infinitely better. The unfiltered truth is that North Macedonia is a country of profound contrasts. It's ancient and modern, frustrating and heartwarming, chaotic and peaceful, all at once. It's a place that doesn't pander to you. It asks you to meet it on its own terms. If you can do that, if you can embrace the mess with patience and a sense of humor, you will be rewarded with the experience of a lifetime. My final piece of advice? Come with your eyes wide open. Do your research, but be ready for reality to be different. Learn a few words of Macedonian before you land. Pack a ton of patience for the bureaucracy. And most importantly, say yes when you are invited somewhere. Say yes to the coffee. Yes to the home-cooked meal. Yes to the weekend trip to a village you can't pronounce. That is where you will find the real North Macedonia. And now I want to hear from you. For those who have lived in the Balkans, what was your biggest surprise? Was it the bureaucracy, the hospitality, or something else? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching.